What's going on, good people? It's Mr. Meyer with the Fire, episode 75, Mars Day with Mark, your favorite astrology podcast. So, this is the week that everything changes. Let's be really clear about that here. It's a very exciting week. We have Pluto moving into Aquarius, which is a 20-year shift. So, get excited. I'm going to walk you through the week, starting with today, which is the 12th of November, and then we're going to end up on the 19th of November. Okay. So, I'm going to follow the chart. I'm going to bring up the chart. Follow along with your own chart. Okay. And let me know how you are doing in the comments. Let me know how these transits are affecting you, what's going on. Without further ado, today is the 12th. So this is our last full week of Scorpio. I'm going to run through the degrees and then the next week, and then I'm going to start highlighting the major events. And really, this week, the biggest thing to look forward to, guys, is Pluto and the full freaking moon. And we have some retrogrades cooking, okay? So today, the sun is at 21 Scorpio. We're almost done, about 9 days away from Sagittarius. Our moon is waxing. It is about to hit that Taurus full moon on the 15th. We have Mercury at 13 degrees of Sagittarius. We've got Venus at 1 degree of Capricorn, very fresh, very new. We've got Mars at 2 degrees of Leo. We've got Jupiter at 19 Gemini. Saturn is at 12 degrees of Pisces. Uranus is at 25 Taurus. We've got Neptune at 27 Pisces, and we've got Pluto at 29 degrees of Capricorn and 53 minutes, guys. We are so close. We are so cooked, and we are about to be so back. So 1 week from now, oh, whoops, I'm jumping way ahead, the 19th. You see, we're going to have the sun at, and let me switch to purple. Purple feels right today. Boom, we got 28 Scorpio. The moon will be waning off in Cancer about a week from now. We'll have Mercury moving up to 20 degrees of Sagittarius. So you can see that's not that much movement for Mercury. So some of you guys already know, but Mercury retrograde coming soon within 2 weeks. So we're already hitting that pre-retrograde shadow. Venus will move up to 9 degrees of Capricorn. We're getting about 8 degrees of motion. Mars is only moving like 3 degrees through the whole week. So Mars is also slowing down, getting ready for the retrograde. It starts at 6 Leo a couple weeks from now. We've got Jupiter already retrograde at 18 degrees of Gemini. Saturn actually moves direct. Oh, yes. Saturn retrograde is over this week, 12 degrees. So you see, Saturn is not moving degrees this week, but it is going to stop moving backwards station and turn back around. So that's really cool. We've got Uranus still moonwalking across the sky. Still retrograde is what I mean. 25 Taurus. Neptune is still retro at 27 Pisces. And Pluto is going to get done with Capricorn. How crazy is it? It's such a synchronicity to see this line up on the Tuesday to Tuesday. You know, literally next Tuesday, we're going to have Pluto hit 0 degrees of Aquarius in 0 minutes. And frankly, this isn't the first time Pluto's been in Aquarius, nor will it be the last time. And these cycles have been ongoing before your birth, but I really mean that Pluto was in Aquarius for a little bit this year before it started its last retrograde and went back into Capricorn. But we are no longer going to have Pluto in Capricorn for the rest of your life unless Pluto Aquarius brings some technological scientific revolution to the point where we all start living 300 to 400 to 900 years like Methuselah and Noah and all those motherfuckers in the Bible. Crazy stuff. So let me also say, I don't usually read the chart this way, but what I'm also seeing, because I have this handy dandy layout that I built on Solar Fire, which shows, the aspects and the elements and modes and stuff like that. It looks like we have a balance between fire, earth, air, and water. That's pretty cool. So, what does that mean? The four elements, they really are the building blocks of all of life. Everything needs all four components. The fire, which is the spiritual, the water, which is emotional, air is mental, and then earth is, the material. So what I get from this delineation is like, guys, you can do anything. You can create whatever the F you want. And with this being heavy on the cardinal, this is a great time for us to initiate new projects and plans to, light that fire under our own ass, so to speak, and get off our butts and do something with our life to make change, to maybe go a different direction if it permits. Ooh. Okay, gang. So let me break it down like bit by bit in the highlights of this week. So as we start the week in Scorpio, intense times. The sun is our focus on what? Power. Scorpio. So get excited, guys. It's been a very interesting Scorpio season. A lot of death and rebirth, either physically or metaphorically speaking. So become your greatest version is really what this season is about. What things do we have to surrender to grow? In with the new, out with the old. Oh, yes, it's certainly like that. So we are building pressure. We're going to have our full moon on Friday. And the full moon in Taurus is a beautiful moon. Every year we get a full moon in Taurus in the season of Scorpio. And the full moon is a release point. It lets us shed more skin, let us shed things that don't serve our stability, our prosperity, our joy, our love in this life. Taurus is everything beautiful and everything we need. So I really like how regenerative these energies really are. And I would encourage you to do something productive or even magical around this time. And if you don't have any idea what to do, we are going to do a Fire Family get together in the Discord server. So if you aren't yet a member of our free Discord, hit the link in the description and make sure that you join so you can be part of our full moon working as we bring in prosperity for this cycle and release blockages to abundance. Because we've been building a community in there, guys. And I just want to say, you all bring me tremendous joy and so much fun. And I forgot to say this, guys. I should have said this at the beginning. I'll say it more, but thank you guys so much for 3,500 subscribers. That's amazing how much the community is building and how these videos are getting into more people's hands. And I've been looking at my analytics and I'm seeing that, you guys subscribing are watching the videos, but more than that, these videos are getting thrown into the algorithm and people are really starting to take notice. So I appreciate y'all. And if you're here for the first time, do consider hitting the subscribe button and being part of the journey. Fire is desire, fire is transformation. So that's simply what we focus on every single week. There'll be new transits all the time to look at, and we'll get language through the astrology as far as how we can respond to life in the most proactive way. But simply put, we create our lives, and that's preliminary anytime I do one of these videos for us to know and understand that. All right. So everybody has a different life, different goals, different road. Scorpio season is really about where is your power and are you using it appropriately? And it's kind of funny with Pluto in Capricorn, the ruling planet of Scorpio. With great power comes great responsibility. Spider-Man quotes, lock in. I just posted a video for Venus and Capricorn, and I'll link it down below too if you guys want to see an extended breakdown as far as that transit, because that's news for this week as well, is that we're getting a whole new flavor, a whole new jump into life. Life can seriously be so simple, guys, if you literally just decide what you want first. Second, go after it. And what I mean by that is avoid retreating and avoid doing nothing. Go after what you want. And then thirdly, enjoy your damn life. Enjoy the process of getting what you want. Have your cake, eat it too. Ooh, you know, be healthy. Don't self-sabotage. When the self-love is real, the self-sabotage stops. All right. So as far as the other planets, guys, let me say that Mercury has an interesting week. My Mercury is all over the place a lot of times, y'all. Mercury is how you communicate and think. So I'm sorry to backpedal for 1 second, but just understand that the sun is going to highlight, our desires and power in our life. And then the moon is really going to internally show us what our actual needs are and help you really find a good rhythm and a timing for life. So you can put leverage on your schedule. Remember, your schedule is not a prison. Your schedule is supposed to bring you structure so it can set you free. So do with that what you will. Mercury, though, Mercury in the sign of Sagittarius. This is actually a very interesting and sometimes difficult place for Mercury to be because Mercury is the mind. It's how we think and perceive things. And Sagittarius is a wide angle lens. So there can be an abundance of information, an abundance of stimulation. And this can make it a little bit harder for people to sit still nowadays. Or there's this impulse to interact or to travel or to move. Curiosity is an all-time high. And as an aside, I want to say that Mercury and Jupiter are in mutual reception. And what that essentially means, if you're unfamiliar, is that they have switched signs. Mercury naturally rules Gemini, and Jupiter naturally rules Sagittarius. So check that out. They're flip flopped. So that's pretty cool. It's like you and your buddy wanted to meet at the park, and you were getting off work, which was closer to their house, and they were getting off, um, out of school, which was closer to your house. So it's like, boom, you guys can go to each other's houses before you meet up at the park. You can collaborate. Or it might be even more difficult in some instances because before they meet at the park or whatever, it's like, well, I'm sorry, you don't have my key, so I can't even get into your house. Or it's like, normally I could, but your mom is not home to let me in or whatever, like that. Pictures are worth 1,000 words, so I'm not trying to be too cryptic or weird, but just, let the image marinate in your mind. Hopefully you can build some meaning out of it. I think that mutual reception brings mitigating sympathy. Like I said before, Mercury is all about thinking and communicating. And with Jupiter ruling this, with Mercury being in Sagittarius, sometimes there's too much to think about. There's too much nervous energy or just endless curiosity making you feel stupid when you might be even brilliant about the things that you want. Another thing about Mercury, Sagittarius, Jupiter, Gemini, be aware of exaggeration, expanded intellect, essentially, where situations can easily be appearing much better or worse than they actually are as a result of our perception. So it's important to ground our ideas with logic and to focus more on application than theory. You feel me? And, it's great to have a vision. If you find yourself nervous or despondent or lost in this life, see if you can change your perspective, and that may help out a great deal. Because where we start this week, Mercury is actually making a pretty tense angle to Saturn, Mercury square Saturn. And that's a serious attitude, but that's also the definition of locked in. So I hope you guys are having a blessed time and not taking life and yourself too fucking serious. Like, it is serious. You do want to play to win, and that's different than playing not to lose, which is something to think about as well. But know that it's your life and you can have fun with this as well. And don't be too afraid where Saturn is concerned. Our fear can sometimes make it harder for us to communicate or to embark on our travels and journeys and plans and things like that. So watch out for that. Venus, and also, by the way, like I said, Mercury is slowing down, guys. Within 2 weeks, Mercury will begin this stationing for the retrograde. So this is the time to kind of consolidate your schedule and your plans, and don't get off your center. Like, move forward in your life at whatever pace you determine is right, but try to collect your energy and center yourself more. Venus and Capricorn, very interesting angle. And this is an interesting week for Venus and Capricorn too. And I threw this in that other video, like I mentioned, it's in the description. But, Venus and Capricorn is a totally new flavor for love. And it is more serious as well because it's ruled by Saturn. So Venus and Capricorn is going to make, and this is, by the way, going to be a theme until the 7th of December. So we've got it for the rest of the month and then a little bit of next month. It's about real love and success. Oh, yes. That's the easiest way I can explain this to y'all, is that we'll be less compromising when it comes to our autonomy and our sovereignty. And we'll really look towards anything, whether that's a person, place, thing, indulgence, for the long-term merit and benefit, and seriously just being more serious. And that's pretty cool. Hopefully you can learn how to have the cake and eat it too, so to speak. Enjoy the process of success, not be too austere or cold and dry to those that you care about and love. It's very important to do your financial planning like almost any time, but the language suggests now with Venus and Cap, it's time to check your resources and make sure that you aren't, running a deficit, so to speak, that you actually understand your income and your expenses and your bills and map them out and write them down and be very clear about your assets and liabilities and net worth. If it is important for you to have money and build it in that regard, because if not, these are just words, ideas that you can take or leave essentially. So, in another note, because that's the Taurus part of Venus, but also know that Venus rules Libra too. So, Venus and Cap is also going to ask us about the quality of our relationships and whether they're serving truly for the long term benefit. In order to do that, you also have to map your relationships out. Like, what are my standards? What are my boundaries? And do they make sense? Can I communicate them to other people? Can I ask for what I want? Venus and Cap also makes us want to be rejection proof. And that can be a fleeting goal because everybody has different values. So, simply put, the thing about Venus and Capricorn is it's about loving yourself and feeling better about yourself and striving to make relationships that are more honest because this is the wantingness for success. And to be quite honest, Capricorn oftentimes is just ego gratification too. So, you'll want to make sure that you give yourself the love that you wish to experience from other people too, so that it can actually be valuable, because self esteem is one of the most priceless jewels you can possess, guys. The whole world can love you and appreciate you and support you. But if you don't like yourself, it's not going to mean anything. Okay. You can be the most respected and admired person, but if you feel like a fraud, you won't be happy with yourself. Okay. So love yourself doubly hard with Venus and Capricorn. And I also want to say that Venus breaks out of the square from Neptune that we had last week. And it feels like love is demystifying itself. It's getting more clear. We're coming out of the fog. Things are making sense. This is what I said about the crazy week for Venus is that Venus will also make a square with the nodal axis of the moon. And what does that mean? Because I'm saying a lot of technical things. Venus is the highlight at this time. That's simply what I mean. And if you are an intermediate astrologer or even a beginner that wants to study the North Node and the South Node, by all means, you'll pick up on what I'm saying very quickly, because I don't want to talk your ear off today. But in a more esoteric note, Venus square the node says there's big shifts this week when it comes to love and money. So getting our shit together is really what I'm seeing. But deeper than that, big changes in relationships. Like we might encounter new people along this week, or even kind of close off some portals and doors and tie up some loose ends, so to speak. All right. And love is going to be a main focus for this week. How much do you value yourself, and do your values even support your growth and luck and blessings? Those are the questions. A lot of questions. So let me also show you Mars. Mars is an interesting position this week as well because it's moving into the retrograde shadow. Mars is opposite to Pluto, and Mars is in the sign of Leo. So Mars reflects the desire. It's the masculine energy. Venus is more about the feminine energy. So Mars in Leo is inherently selfish, self-serving, and very bold and inspired too. So you will see through this energy that it's easier to express yourself. It's easier to let your energy out. And seriously put, if you don't have a creative outlet, you may start to build up frustration, or you might still start building up anger or resentment towards other people because you don't have enough self-love. So that's important to know. And when it comes to Mars and Leo, creative control is a big theme. You will want to be able to do what you want and not be told how to do it. And this means, as challenging as it might be right now, try not to take anything personally because everybody's wanting to do their own thing. And sometimes things might not even be a threat to you, but you may perceive it as a threat. There's a lot of lenses to look at this through, but also I would encourage you to look at the opposition with Mars to Pluto. This is a very intense angle, and it's not new, because Mars is effectively slowing down and Pluto is the slowest planet in the chart. It makes this angle last for weeks. Okay. And we'll have this for the whole entire week. And then as Mars retrogrades back, I'm actually going to show you on the time clock. Look at it like Mars, and this is by the week. Okay. Boom. Let me actually move back to Tuesday to make it more sense. Tuesday and go by the week. So Mars is opposite Pluto this week, the next week, the next week. That's 5-degree orb. I count it. And, 6, I count it still. And then it reverses. And basically, we'll have Mars opposite Pluto effectively until like January. But at the same time, when Mars gets done with the retrograde in Cancer, it's going to spin right back into that Mars Pluto opposition. So, guys, this is very interesting as far as like the higher time frames and cycles that we're experiencing right now. Understand this Mars Pluto opposition is going to be a big theme for the time being and the distant future. Okay. And what does this mean effectively? I mean, there's a million things I could say about it, but the simplest one is it's about the need for control. It's about choosing evolution and personal growth and advancement. It's about confronting detested weaknesses and killing them off. Only you know where your liabilities are, and only you know what your true strengths are. So this one is about choosing to grow. And to me, I also get with this one, be strong, know your self defense, and just understand that depending on how people respond to this or what level of consciousness that we are operating from or level of empathy, we'll seek our control in many different ways. So, Fire Family, I just encourage you to follow and abide by the sovereignty rule. Look for freedom within your life and rule your own kingdom, but don't try to rule anybody else's kingdom. Give people the freedom to do what they want to do. Treat people the way you want to be treated, man. And then things can be pretty easy. But at the same time, with this same angle, man, some people will be on some bullshit and not really heed that memo. And they may want to assert their willpower, Mars, on other people for a feeling of power, Pluto. You see what I'm saying? So that's why I say it's good to mind your business. It's good to know self-defense. It's good to stay out the way, so to speak. And I say this not to encourage you to be afraid, but to bring you peace, and just know that this world is weird. It's always been weird, even in other transits. But now more than ever, it's time to walk in your strength, walk in your power. All right. And energy levels can fluctuate rapidly and wildly throughout this transit because it is deep internal shifts. Okay. And I will say that another thing about Mars opposite Pluto is that this may make people more antisocial as well. This may make people more closed off or want to be alone. The desire to be, an opposition is one of the most interesting angles because kind of like that mutual reception I was talking about with Mercury and Jupiter, they're going to go opposite this week too. Is that, you may have one of the fastest lines to get from Mars to Pluto, or there may be kind of a disconnection between the two. So on one note, Mars and Pluto is about craving depth, craving intimacy. But on the other note, this might be like everybody leave me the F alone. And it could be both, truly. And that might be why the angle is hard sometimes, is we want literally both at the same time. And it's the Leo Aquarius angle, the personal will and the collective will, right? So really success comes from a concern for all of life, not just showing your ass. I mean, unless you're thick as shit, as long as you're thick as oats in the pot, man, people will want to see you show that ass. But if not, you know, you got to play the role that the universe wants you to play, so to speak. But also there's that what's it called? Is it called ikigai? That Japanese concept between the service you can provide, what the world needs, and what you like. If you can find like the mixture in between, everybody fucking wins. You win, the world wins, people are served by your efforts. So I'm funny, I'm witty, but I hope that meant something to somebody, guys, because we got Jupiter and Gemini. It's a mind fuck. It's a lot of ideas. Jupiter retrograde is asking us not to leave things up to luck and chance and hope and assumption. Hope is not a strategy. All right. Get your shit together, make it make sense. I'm not telling you not to have hope because you can't even last a moment without hope. You can last like weeks without food, days without water, seconds without air, not a moment without hope. All right. So, that being said, have hope. But when it comes to your growth, your luck, your expansion, no, you create your own luck. The harder you work and the smarter you work, the luckier you get. And that's Jupiter retrograde in this bitch. All right. And then Saturn retrograde. And we are pretty blessed right now in the sense that Saturn and Jupiter square is not that tense right now. So we can find growth in a more steady, unrestrictive way. But Saturn retrograde in the sign of Pisces is saying that our consolidation phase is about to kind of switch up and move towards forward advancement. Saturn is the builder planet, it's the lesson planet. And Pisces is all about empathy and the universe and spirituality. So for the last year or so with Saturn and Pisces, a lot of our spiritual beliefs have been put to the motherfucking test. And we've been having to see, does it actually make sense to us? Also, when it comes to empathy and giving, are we doing too much? Are we doing enough at all? And that's the focus. I don't know how it affects you guys because you have a different Saturn, different houses, etc. But I will just say that this is one of the most beautiful times to be alive because here we have the internet, we have a fuck ton of people. You can learn whatever the hell you want to learn. And, your beliefs really do create your life. They do shape your life. How crazy is it that whatever you believe, you start to experience in some way, shape, or form, even if it's not objectively true? That's the placebo effect, for example. If you give a whole bunch of people in a clinical trial a sugar pill and tell them that it's, Ozempic or whatever, they might start losing weight. You get me? That's the power of belief. That's the power of fantasy, conviction, emotions. So I don't want to tell you what to believe besides believe in your motherfucking self, but just ask yourself if your beliefs support your luck, your blessings, and your growth. And then beyond that, practice your beliefs. See, and then you put them to the test. Like Saturn, you check the structural integrity of them as well. And it's also worth noting that with Saturn and Pisces, this adds a lot of empathy, a lot of emotion to our world. So it's important to understand that, we are the world, we are the children, and it's important to come together to move the world forward. But this world will seriously keep spinning with or without you. And I'm not saying that to be negative or nihilistic. Actually, the opposite. I'm trying to say it's not your job to like put out every fire in the world. Ooh, pardon me. Oh yeah. Smell some bullshit. I'm allergic to it, man. So yeah, that's what it was. Like, don't be too worried about what everybody's doing. Worry about your goddamn self. Worry about your family. Don't even worry. Just be concerned with the right things, is what I'm saying. So, where does Saturn direct itself? Let me show you. Saturn is going direct on the 16th, which is Saturday, Saturn Day. Get excited. I love that. And also, this is an interesting day, Saturday. Couple reasons, too. The sun is making an opposition with Uranus as Saturn goes direct, guys. So I said earlier that this is kind of like a pressure building week because of the full moon hitting on the 15th on the Friday. But literally, right as the full moon hits, then we have the sun and Uranus go into their full phase, the opposition. So this is really a week of breaking free, breaking out the box, and letting go of things that don't serve us. The challenge with this one, guys, with the sun opposite Uranus, and I was born under the sun opposite Uranus, truly. You're going to want to do your own motherfucking thing. And it's easy to kind of run away from life and run away from responsibility when you really should be running towards it. This is like the definition of wanting to throw the whole baby out with the bathwater. You said, like, I'm tired of the baby. I'm tired of the bathwater. I'm tired of being a motherfucking mom, and I'm tired of my job. I'm tired of my social security number. I'm tired of living in a society. I'm about to go live in a van down by the river. It's that type of energy. And hey, that might be cool. That might work for a little bit, and if it works for you, more power to you. But this can also be the want to crash out. So try not to do that unless your higher self says it's time. Because I'm just giving you my ideas, but ultimately you got to report to your higher self, which is also a Uranus thing too, if you really think about it. So apart from that, guys, not too much is happening. Like I said, some of these inner planets are slowing down. Venus moved. We got this Uranus angle. The only other thing is Pluto moves to Aquarius on Tuesday, which is really beautiful. And we have 20 freaking years of Pluto in Aquarius, guys. So get excited because only time will tell what the hell is going to happen. But you have Aquarius in your natal chart in one of the houses, and Pluto's going to move into that house and it's going to activate that part of you for 20 years, like a plow, tilling the ground and showing you what's beneath the surface. And this is going to give you more power, more resources to regenerate yourself. And beyond you, the whole world is going to be advancing through technology, Aquarius energy, the internet. We already have self-driving cars, y'all. We already have robots that'll watch your kids for you. We already have the nervous system mixed with the internet. It's very crazy. Like people are building their own rockets and sending them into space. Genetic engineering is up like an all-time high and it's going to continue moving forward. So it's a brave new world we're going to be seeing. And I just encourage you guys to again look at the chart, see what house Pluto's going through, and then also look at your planets. Like if you have planets in air signs, Libra, Gemini, Aquarius, they're going to be affected. If you have fixed planets in Leo, Aquarius, Taurus, and Scorpio, they're going to be affected. And this is a global shift that we're going to be seeing. So embrace it and just understand when it comes to Aquarius energy, guys, especially Pluto in Aquarius, the mind that can't think for itself is useless and inferior. Okay. And what else? United we rise, divided we fall. We can always get more done with a collective effort as opposed to an individual one. Yet it only takes one to change the world. And let that be you. Ooh, I love you, Fire Family. Don't forget the North Node is in Aries. Last thing I'm going to say is that it's really time to go all in on your purpose. What is my purpose? What is my purpose? What is my purpose? I don't have the answer to you. Your answer will come from within, but if you don't knock on the door, you will never get in. So ask yourself, gang, what is my purpose? What is my purpose? What is my purpose? I love you guys so much from the depths of my soul. Thank you for watching this video. If you did, please leave a like, all those other things, comment, let me know what's up with your transits. I can level with you for a second because I didn't want to spend the whole video talking about myself as a Leo. I could do that all freaking day. So let me just say that if you were curious about what's going on with the focus, if you're curious about my transits, it's like Mars is really like smacking my sun. I'm a Leo sun at about 6 degrees. Mars is square my motherfucking Saturn and Taurus. Pluto is going to be opposite my sun pretty soon. Pluto's going to square my Saturn, things of that nature. The new, or I should say, the full moon is going to be hitting my ninth house. Like, I'm freaking jazzed, man. I'm just focused on gaining more and more power. I'm focused on personal evolution. I'm focused on destroying character liabilities, destroying my fears. Mars, Saturn, I could talk your ear off, guys. If this is a lot of jargon, a lot of confusing keywords, you may want to get Simplified Astrology, which is linked in the bio. And if you guys get it during Scorpio season, you can actually get it half off as well. I would love to know what the transits are hitting for you, what's going on in your magical life, your mundane life, if there's a difference between the two. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.